Hi everyone, welcome back to Poetology. As you may know, I am a big fan of Hobonichi planners, and this year was no exception. I ordered new planners on the Hobonichi website when the special 1st of October editions came out, and I decided to film the unpacking for you. But in addition to that, to have a longer, more in-depth video, I thought I would talk again about the notebooks and other writing tools that I use for my poetry writing and my writing in general. So if you're into notebooks or you want to know some of the tricks I use to write regularly, keep watching and you will find out more about those things in a minute. So let's start with the unpacking video. I got the usual Hobonichi box. I kind of used to like it when it was protected by plastic because I like to keep those boxes for storage, but now they just send the box by itself, which is more ecological, but it also means the box is not perfect when it arrives. I got this nice little box, removed the plastic and documents. It was shipped by FedEx. There's always a quote on the box for each year, and the quote is often slightly weird, which I enjoy too. So I read the quote. You can have a look at it yourself. And inside, there were just a few things. The first thing you can see here are little bookmarks from the One Piece magazine series, and a small gift that Hobonichi sends with every order. And this year it's a tiny square canvas bag with an onigiri on it. It looks like an umeboshi one. I like these a lot. I'm not sure what I will do with this little bag though. It will probably end up being given as a gift if I have an object the right size to put inside. And then I got this Hobonichi techo. And it's also a One Piece special one, which I thought was really fabulous because I've been using Hobonichi techos for years and they all pretty much look the same. The quotes change, but I buy them in Japanese, so let's be fair, I can't really read the quotes. And apart from that, they stay quite similar, apart from the back matters. This one has lots of special things, which we'll see in a minute, and I also got a Weeks with that special One Piece edition, and I love it with a little pirate ship, an octopus, a shark. As usual, I got these two 4-color pens by Hobonichi. They are grey this year. The color changes, but the pens are always the same. Here is the Hobonichi Weeks. So this is what I use as my main planner. That's where I put all of my meeting times. Everything I need to do on a particular day is there so that I never forget anything. And inside was this little flyer. It's in each of the Hobonichi. I had to change the shot and it got really dark suddenly. So here is the dark unpacking video. And this little flyer is always funny to look at. Sometimes it has strange quotes as well, you know, some Japan English, and I just really love to have a look at it. So as I said, the Weeks is here, really beautiful design. I usually went for the Chinese astrological sign series, but this year I thought this one was so much nicer than the seahorse. I really do like the tie fabric on these. And the other one, the techo, I loved the packaging from the start already. The packaging looked good and the red cover is lovely. And you will see inside that it has comic elements. It is the same as other Hobonichi techos, but they've added comic panels on some of the pages, and every month there is a larger panel, so that will be fun to look at over the course of the year, and it makes a difference with previous ones that I have. So here we go, these are 3 items from the One Piece magazine collection that I will work with this year. So here they are. If you want to know more about how I use my Hobonichi planners, there is a video about that already. I will link it here, and this will go into that little sleeve that I already have, an older cover like this. So there's a pen loop to close it, and it's a design I like, with this dreamy boy with a dove on his head reading comics with an alto recorder poking out of his backpack. So I'll be using that for the coming year. What is a big difference from me is that I'm downscaling from using the cousin planner that I've shown in another video, so I'll tell you all about the cousin planner there. And I'm going to use this one in the same way. That's simply because due to health, I'm working less than before, and I thought it would be easier to take that with me and just to give it a try as well. I have to confess there was no one-piece cousin, so that wasn't an option. I thought this was a sign that I needed to give it a try with the techo and see what happens. This is where all of my appointments go. The double pages are like this. So you write all your appointments here and you get a free page with a grid on the right-hand side. And so that gives me plenty of space to write many things. Shopping lists, quotes from books, progress I'm making on different routes in a video game, whatever. Like, so many different things go onto this other page. And this will be used exactly the way I used my work planner. So every day I write about the work I'm doing, take notes, do some planning. Okay. It's autumn in the UK, so the light is changing constantly. Right now it's pouring rain. It wasn't raining when I started. So I hope my camera can cope with all the changes. In order to write, I use other notebooks, and I have talked about this one before in a video about how I write on holiday. So head over to that video if that's what you want to know. It's simply traveler notebook insert. This one is the one with the really lightweight paper, very thin Tomo River paper that I like. And I'd put it in this limited edition cover. And that's something I have with me almost always in my backpack or wherever when I'm out. And during the day, if I have any phrase or ideas or poetry lines that pop into my mind or a word I find interesting, I jot it down there, and it means that I have ideas to base future poems on. And often just flicking through this gives me ideas for poems to write. And I have lines there that I can use, and other material already there, you know, dialogues, whatever it is. Now recently I've added this series, which is also by Hobonichi, and I thought it would be interesting for poetic journals to write poetic lines from my daily life. So something that's a bit in between my poetry notebook and my journal. And it looks like that. They're quite thin, so easy to take with me. And what's interesting is just, it is lined paper, but I don't know if you can see there are little indents that I suppose would make it easier to scale kanji, you know, a Chinese sign on the page, and to write vertically if you wanted to write vertically instead of horizontally as well. And what's great with this is that with poetry, it's easy to like write some poetry, like a stanza here and then another stanza there, and have it more or less aligned. Well, that's what I thought. And there's a little line at the top to write the date. So this is sort of between journaling and poetry writing. I'm still adjusting to this, and I hope I will be doing more of it in the coming months, because I think it's a great way of writing regularly, making some time to just sit down with this occasionally and write down whatever is going on around me or in my head. I do have a journal, by the way. I'm not going to go into depth with it right now, but it's a large Leuchtturm like this. I always put a sticker on the cover, and I do a mixture of writing and use stickers and do some sketches as well. Collage, everything can go into the journal basically. It's quite a free thing. If you're interested in hearing more about how I journal, that's something I'm happy to go into in another video, so let me know in the comments below. And it's a weakness of mine. I have bought 3 other Japanese notebooks that are called Yamamoto paper. I'll put all the links below, by the way. I always do and forget to say it, but the links will be in the description below. I love the format. So it's almost like the traveler's notebook, but it's even more tall and narrow if you want. Well, the length is the same, but it's narrower, and I thought this format would be fun to work with, and it's a topographical series of covers, so I thought, yeah, those were amazing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I will find some kind of project to fit there. Sometimes I keep traveler notebooks as well. I mean, not just the brand, but journals from my travels. Some of them are more visual with sketches, and some of them are more written. So that's potentially what I will do with these. So that's it, I think, for the notebooks. I guess it's enough. I just wanted to also quickly mention that when I move on to my laptop, which is usually after I've written down 1 or 2 drafts, although sometimes it's earlier than that, I like to write in Home Writer to just focus on the writing. I find the app really calming, really simple, and it also makes a sound when I type a little bit like a typewriter. The interface is just really nice, so I like to write in there. And then once I have a finished poem, I put it into Pages just to save the document and be able to send it off as, a PDF or a docx or whatever when I need to. And when I'm working on a more complex project, such as a poetry pamphlet, for example, I go to Scrivener, and Scrivener really helps me put more complex documents together and move between different sections very easily. So those are the digital tools that I use, but my obsession is really with notebooks. And someone asked me recently what I use in terms of pens and pencils. So I write with a fountain pen. Here is my latest Waterman. It's quite a simple Waterman. I think the series is called Allure, and it writes in black ink. I use black cartridges. My favorite color is actually a dark brown, but I don't always have that. So this is just a regular black cartridge. I use a fine nib, and I've been using it for years. I had a blue one before this one, the exact same model. So it works well for me, and it's not terribly expensive when inevitably, damage the nib or whatever. It's not a catastrophe. I've been using fountain pens pretty much since I learned to write, because that's how we learned at school. We were given fountain pens when we learned to write. And so that's always how I've written. I think I took a break when I was 12 because I had broken my hand, and so I had to write with my left hand for a while, and for that I had to branch out to other pens. But I still prefer fountain pens to other medium. Okay, I hope you are as geeky as I am about notebooks. If you've watched this entire video, let me know what you like to use, what your favorite notebooks are, or what your process is like when you are writing drafts and looking for ideas. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!